Thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Northeast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We've got a relatively quiet picture across the U.S. here when we take a look at the National Hazards Map. We've got a winter weather advisory in effect across northern portions of Maine, and that's it across the Northeast. Otherwise, we've got dense fog advisories in parts of the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Texas, and then some local flood advisories across parts of the Missouri River Valley and the Deep South. So look at the satellite picture here on Tuesday morning. We're watching a storm system moving through the region. Again, this is the one that's bringing some light snow, light accumulating snow across very far northern portions of the region. Rain elsewhere as we look at a relatively warm pattern across the eastern half of the country, and that is expected to continue over the next 10 days. But here you see it. Look at the Tuesday radar picture, the Tuesday morning radar loop. And again, it's going to be a very wet Tuesday across much of the Northeast region, but a very warm and rainy Tuesday as far as early March standards are concerned. Again, with warm air being advected northward in advance of this storm system, cold air coming in on the backside. The cold front right now stretching through parts of the eastern Corn Belt into the southern plains. Now, the overall pattern is going to be pretty stubborn over the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be one that's going to feature a lot of heavy precipitation across portions of the south into the Ohio River Valley and then western portions of the Northeast, but the entire Northeast looking to be wetter than average over the next 15 days altogether. But then when we look at the snow forecast, we're looking at the 10-day probability of 3 inches or more of snowfall accumulating from the European ensemble model. Now we're going to be bringing in enough cold air to kind of start accumulating some snow across the northern plains, parts of the Dakotas, and the central high plains, even into parts of the upper Midwest, an area that has seen relatively light precipitation over the last 20 days or so. But when you look over toward the Northeast region, the only area really seeing the higher probabilities of any accumulating snow is, again, far northern portions of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and then maybe some of the higher elevations of upstate New York. The reason for this is going to be, again, it's a pattern that's going to feature a lot of warm air being drawn northward across the eastern half of the country. So while it may be active, it may be stormy and wetter than average over the next 10 to 15 days, it's also going to be warmer than average, and that, again, is going to shove the snow northward and away from much of the Northeast region. Maybe that's good news if you're ready to just move on and head on into spring, but anyone hoping for a late rally with some snow here, looking to be out of luck at this point. Now, the pattern over the next 10 days is going to be dominated by this ridge across the Gulf of Alaska. We're going to be developing cutoff lows off the coast of California. So split flow coming up and over the top of that ridge into the northern plains, and then a very strong jet stream coming across, the subtropical jet stream coming across the southern U.S. That's what sets the stage for repeated rounds of precipitation across this region. Areas of low pressure developing in the central plains, tracking off to the northeast through this region, but then, again, high pressure across the southeast. And that is what is going to keep warm, humid flow coming out of the Gulf of Alaska, and then keeping the cold air kind of tucked back here across the Canadian prairie and then parts of the northern plains. And again, just playing this loop over the next 10 to 15 days, you see the same pattern emerging, that ridge here across the eastern half of the country, keeping things rather warm and active. As we look at the surface response, the precipitable water loop, again, you're seeing the flow around that area of high pressure in the southeast, keeping the moisture transport focused across the Midwest, across the Ohio River Valley. And that, again, leads to storm systems developing in this region and kind of riding that moist conveyor belt here across the Ohio River Valley into the northeastern region. But again, what keeps it from being a snowy pattern? The lack of cold air, the lack of sustained cold air across the region. We'll see a shot of cooler temperatures over the weekend, but it is short-lived and quickly replaced by that ridge and unseasonably warm temperatures across the region. So, again, the cold air being tucked back across this region, that's what keeps any snow over the next 10 days or any real significant snow tucked back across that region as well. So let's look at the high-resolution NAM model. Let's look at the next several days. Again, watching this first storm system moving through the region with some snow expected across the northern half of Maine. Elsewhere, talking about just rain as we head through our day on Tuesday. We should be quiet for the overnight and then into the day on Wednesday, although some very light rain showers and maybe a couple snowflakes are going to be possible across parts of Pennsylvania and western New York as we head through the late afternoon and early evening hours. Maybe a couple rain showers moving through New Jersey as we get into Wednesday evening as well. But generally quiet until we get into Thursday across the region. It's going to be late in the day on Thursday that we'll talk about the next chance for precipitation across the region. We'll look at that with the high resolution or the longer range European model, watching the first storm system make its way through here Tuesday. Taking it into Tuesday night, watching that rain end from west to east overnight. We should be dry by the time we wake up on Wednesday for everyone across the Northeast region. Chance for maybe a light rain shower across parts of Pennsylvania into New Jersey, maybe southern portions of New York during the day Wednesday, but likely going to be dry for all of us on Wednesday. It's Thursday, late in the day, we start to see rain and maybe a few thunderstorms moving into western portions of Pennsylvania and New York, overspreading the Northeast region Thursday night into Friday morning. This one could also bring some snow to far northern portions of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Could also bring some blustery conditions with warm air being transported northward into this area of low pressure as it makes its way north of the region. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll watch for colder air coming in on the backside here, bringing us a cooler shot of air, but not in time to transition much of this snow or this rain over to snow. Again, keeping it a mostly liquid rain frontal passage. Now, strong winds coming in on the backside here. It could be a rather blustery and chilly Saturday. Maybe some light snow flurries possible across the region. Some lake effect snow going to be possible across upstate New York and western New York as well. But generally looking at just a quiet but cold and blustery Saturday across the region. We'll then watch the next storm system try to make its way into the region as we get into Sunday and Monday. But it looks like high pressure may force this one south of the Northeast region. So it's one we'll have to watch late Saturday into Sunday. But right now looking like it's going to miss the Northeast region. So over the next 7 days, it's really the storm system today and then that storm system on Thursday that we're concerned about as far as bringing significant precipitation into the Northeast region. So we're looking at the next 7 days, total precipitation from the European ensemble on the left, and then the probability of greater than 3 inches of snow falling between now and March 18th on the right. And again, you see the opportunity for significant precipitation, over an inch possible, especially across portions of Pennsylvania and New York, but certainly half an inch to an inch possible across the remainder of the Northeast region. But that chance for accumulating snow really going to be found well off to the north as we head through the next week. So we'll look at your high temperatures for the next 5 days. Today, topping out in the upper 30s to near 40 across northern Maine, where that winter weather advisory is in effect, all the way down to the 60s to near 70 across southern Pennsylvania and New Jersey and Maryland. A bit cooler for the day on Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll start warming up for most of us here on Friday, with that shot of cooler air coming in on Saturday. Again, it is short-lived, though. We'll start warming back up Sunday into Monday. Your overnight lows, waking up on Thursday morning, temperatures in the teens and 20s, all the way down to near 40 across the south. Warm air on Friday as that storm system makes its way through the region with the cool shot of air coming in on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday morning looking to be about the chilliest period over the next week, with temperatures near 10 to 15 degrees across the north to near freezing in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. Have a great day. We'll talk to you specifically about the Northeast once again on Friday, but be sure to catch the long-range weather analysis we'll put out tomorrow morning, and then again Eric's ag forecast on Thursday morning. Have a great day.